Hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm getting this updated. Minnesota News Now out here in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. T-Mobile Foot Locker. I'm getting reports that there's possible looting out here. I'm going to try and cover this real quick. Bear with me while you fill in some info. Hey, so I got a bunch of tips that they're looting or breaking in over here at T-Mobile and Foot Locker. Have you guys seen anything?
Oh, that all happened last night.
Oh, it happened last night?
Yeah, it's already done. It'll probably happen again tonight.
Yeah, I was downtown Minneapolis the whole time, so...
Anything going on down there?
Yeah, it's getting ready to roll out again, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And they said they're going to move up this way, so...
They will. All this will probably get fucking destroyed.
Oh, yeah, they...
Walmart gets burnt down.
Come on. No, nothing but the best people come out of that Walmart.
You go in that fucker about 3 o'clock.
Oh.
Say, burn it down.
Target was destroyed.
Yep.
We watched that go. When they rolled in like 3 busloads of National Guard, State Patrol. You know, honestly, I mean, there's maybe like 98% of those people were really peaceful, just venting and airing what they needed to, right?
Yep.
And then there's a few when they'd throw a glass bottle or something, and then Minneapolis PD would start shooting up everybody. I mean, people standing there, their hands up, and they peg some dude in his forehead, his arm. I'm like, well, now the peaceful ones are going to be more violent.
Yeah, it's fucked up either way.
I mean, I hate to say it, but they should just take the few water bottles and beer bottles, whatever it is they're going to take. I mean, they're all armored up.
Yeah, but the more you let them do it, the more they're gonna do it.
True. Or shoot a couple concussions in there, scare them, you know, and be like, hey, look, hey, we took 1 or 2, but you guys keep going. We're going to push back hard. I mean, shit, I was standing there right behind AutoZone before it caught on fire filming, and I got a full surrounded by the cloud of tear gas, and that Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that shit's so fun.
No, I remember my days of training with Mace. I'm like, damn, this is the same shit. Same shit.
Yeah. Great.
Doesn't...
You guys out here doing?
I'm filming. Like I said, I heard they're starting at Walmart, or I heard they were over then at T-Mobile and Foot Locker. So if it was last night, it was last night. But again, how many times has it happened at Foot Locker? I mean, there was the shooting, then the shooting there, and then the shooting over in Crystal, and
Yeah. I'm guessing it won't start until dark, but who knows? They had some people steal some shit earlier.
the
A bunch of computers.
Walmart.
Yep. Right off.
How's that any different than any other day, though?
They did it early. Each guy had 2 computers. Look at one person.
No, so it was a little bit more than...
Yeah, a little bit more than normal. But, you get anything good filmed last night?
Yeah, I was the only live stream that was getting out. We don't know if they were jamming it or what the problem was, but like the one guy I was with, he jumped off and then he tried to jump back on and he couldn't log into anything. There was no data.
Just because there's so many people.
Well, that's what we originally thought, but you would at least be able to get logged in and it would be choppy, you know, because you'd have bad data signals. But they just weren't. I mean, I lowered everything I could, and it was barely just kicking out bits and frames and a couple of
Where are
blurs.
you putting it, posting it at?
Mine's on YouTube, so my channel is Minnesota News Now, and the other guy I was with last night was Minnesota Guardian. He had a better stream than I did when he was up, but then he couldn't get back on.
Those are the best you guys call? Most part?
Cops do
Really?
shoot at us. I mean, as far as they know, we're just one of them.
Best on too?
Yeah, that's why. Well, today I brought the vest, but I'm walking around with this. I mean, obviously you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if they start aiming something, you know, we're like this. We're like, look, we're filming. Like we're not. We're indifferent, right? We're just there to document and film. But again, it's Minneapolis, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a different breed, I think, down there.
You're hanging out all day trying to do some stuff or what?
Well, I just got gas. I was coming from Crystal, and so I just got gas, and then one of the ladies at the gas station came back in. She's like, they're looting at. Someone said they're looting at Walmart, and
Yeah, we haven't had anything yet. Nothing. It's still early though.
oh yeah. Well, I was in front of the officer's house. Him and I were down there in front of the officer's house. Calm. I mean, chanting. They, you know, he snuck off in the like at 3 o'clock in the morning. They said. Oh, he was gone at 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday morning. So before anyone came, and they he had like a bunch of dogs and stuff, or I think like 3 or 4 dogs, and the neighbor was like, we don't know how no one knew he left. It was quiet. I'm like, well, pretty sure it had to be quiet. I mean, they're calling for his arrest. I mean, was it Woodbury PD showed up and tried to talk to him, and it's, you know, and it was hostile a few times, but for the most part it was, you know, it's funny. Woodbury PD shuts down a road and then tells the protesters they have to go on the other side of the road because they want the protesters closing the road, and they're like, we never closed the road. We were on out of the road the whole time, right? They were down like one of the neighborhood roads, and they're like, you guys shut down the road.
Yeah, they had signs up, didn't they?
Yeah, Woodbury did that. Woodbury PD shut down the road. Then they were mad at the protesters because they didn't want to shut down the road. They're like, well, then don't shut down the road. Woodbury doesn't have body cams, so they're like, no. Plymouth just got them October. You'd think so. Seems like this is kind of what I've been seeing. Kind of the I don't know how to choose my words. Kind of the rougher neighborhood police departments will get the body cams first. Yeah. Same with Brooklyn Park, right? They got theirs.
Yeah, they got theirs first. They got somebody ours.
Oh, Brooklyn Park's a huge city. I mean, and if you look at Brooklyn Park, south of 610 is like you. North of 610
Yeah.
is, you know, high end.
Yeah.
And so,
I'd say almost say south of 85th.
yeah,
Or maybe 93rd. Right.
yeah, somewhere it kind of starts to transition. There's little pockets. It's weird.
Yeah. I know if you go way west of the park, it's not too bad.
No, it's a weird city. Now, like, you guys, you're North Minneapolis.
Yeah. Well, we got it in the pockets of neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Nothing to do there. How far is that thing so good?
I can get, well, starts getting blurry over by Foot Locker. But I'm gonna go over there, shoot some video, see what I can. Yeah. I'll see what I can get over at Walmart before they kick me out of there. I'll take my best off so they don't notice because they're very. Minnesota News Now. Yeah, I'm live right now, so it should pop up. So you guys can see what's going on. And Minnesota News Now. So I do all sorts of filming. So the one thing I always tell cops is, you know, I respect everyone the same way. How you approach us and me, we've had a great conversation. Plymouth, not so much a couple times. Yeah. Well, they tried to stop me and detain me. Like, I filmed the workhouse. There's a lot of cool stuff over at the workhouse. There's a little memory garden, and then the guards came out yelling at me, telling me it's private property. I'm like, who owns this? And if it's private, right? Walmart's private. It's owned by someone. Okay, I get that. If it's private, then, you know, who owns it? Because if it's county property, it's county property. And they're like, well, Hennepin County. I'm like, well, who owns Hennepin County then? I mean, the question is the same thing you guys do, right? I mean, you're digging for an answer.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's exactly how I was. I'm like, okay, well, you just told me it's private. They got it pulled up.
Yeah.
But I got that video on there too, so, you know, it's
I don't think Walmart is yellow.
not, maybe not this one.
I don't.
I was over and filmed the shooting over at Brooklyn Park.
Walmart.
Yeah.
How close are they?
Well, the road goes right there, so I basically just stood there because the other Channel 9 was out there, and they're like, "Don't go on their property because they'll kick you out." I'm like, "I know, they're pretty." I'm like, they got to tell us to leave first, so yeah. Because there's no pre-warning signs, and it's open to the public, and that's what we try and explain. Like, look, I'm not out here trying to cause problems. I'm out here just to film. That's it. But
Hopefully you get some interesting stuff.
it was wild last night,
Yeah.
and not from the
This way tonight, you're gonna be down there.
wherever they go. We're just trying to stay with it, you know. And the sad thing is, you know, a lot of people don't want what happened to be overtaken by what happened with them. And even Woodbury's like, when we seen it the next morning, all in the patrol room, we were all just sick over it. They're like, we're with you guys. Just because we wear the uniform doesn't mean we agree with what happened. And right. And, you know, it's like, I tell people, I'm like, none of us know what occurred to it. Now it's coming out, like the body cams, the surveillance cameras are coming out. I just seen something that a body cam was posted, so I'm going to try and get that link over on mine. But we don't know. But we do know he was on the ground. They were kneeling on his neck. Yeah. And there was no struggle, he was handcuffed.
Yeah, you can. I assume you know that. I couldn't see it from the.
Yeah, the view was bad, but they came out and they actually said he was handcuffed. So, and even if he wasn't, he didn't appear to be struggling for that much force. I mean, he could have moved his knee from his neck to in between his shoulder blades, so he'll have more control without causing, you know, injury. I could understand if he was struggling and fighting. I mean, you're just trying to get the guy under control, but it didn't look like he was at that point. I mean, they say he was struggling a little bit in the beginning, but again, that was over. And you know, there's so many cameras out there now that everyone just has to be careful. It catches everything. It's indifferent, right?
Yeah.
And now
It catches everything. It catches what's happening.
it might have a bad angle, but it's only truth. And now with so many, how many angles are we getting? We're getting dash cams, we're getting body cams, we're getting people with cameras. So you start putting them all together, you can paint the picture real clear. It's better than a witness. I mean, the guy had a red shirt. Well, the witness told you he had a blue shirt.
I heard something on the radio. Yellow shirt, my dog did.
Yeah. I mean, they've talked about that forever with people being, eyewitnesses are not reliable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it changes. Some just does something.
Yeah.
Are you trying to go inside Walmart or something?
No. I don't think
I bet you could sit out there for quite a while before something.
it says something.
Yeah, and I know all the employees pretty well. I don't think anyone would stop it.
I think they're all pretty okay at this one.
Yeah.
Some are not. Again, you get more into like the suburbs and people freak out a little bit more when it kills me. They'll walk right up in front of me, and they'll come walk right up in front of me and be like, "I don't want to be on camera." I'm like, "Why do you walk right up? I mean, like, why don't you walk around behind me?"
Not like you're zooming in on them.
Right. Well, now you are on the camera, right? And so that's one thing I tell people. I'm like, if you don't want to be on camera, don't walk up. But if you want to air your voice, then come up around beside me or behind me, and I'll be happy to keep you off camera.
See anybody breaking into Route 21?
Do I?
We got a burglary alarm.
There's a burglary alarm.
Never mind.
Oh, maybe I'll run over there. Appreciate it. Stay safe. Thanks. You too. All right, guys. Route 21, possible break-in. How's it going?
I did not know that I was going to watch it.
Oh, sorry, guys. So Route 21, they got a burglary alarm. Alright guys, I'm back watching my stream. Hey, so Route 21 seems pretty secure. Although, talking with PD, they said that there was possible theft, a lot of theft coming out of Walmart. We're gonna walk over here to T-Mobile and Foot Locker where their break-in was last night. I believe Mainstream is all over that one. Try to get, I'll get some more info. I think I got a guy coming down from Duluth. Know Your Rights in the North. We talked last night. I think he's trying to get down here. They said there was a lot of protesting going on down in, or up in Duluth. We got it all over the country at this point. So today I got a high-vis traffic vest. I do have my double cartridge respirator with me. That will definitely take care of tear gas if it needs to be. Here's the Walmart that got that stuff stolen from it. PD said that it's probably linked to unruly people because it happened at an unusual time and a pretty brazen one. So kind of some of the chatter I got picked up on the street is the protests are happening I believe in St. Paul for Rice area, and they're going to be moving up north probably this way. So make sure if you're coming out, you guys are prepared. We've seen a bunch of different reports of different things, so just make sure you guys are prepared, stay safe. I'll be out here. I've got a bunch of battery packs charged up. We got CCX Media. No, I'm independent.
You're okay with it? We can move if you want.
I'm independent. You're live streamed right now.
This is fine. All right, well, just tell us, Mike, what did the city does after some unfortunate looting in the early morning hours?
Well, we want to urge calm. We want folks to, in response to the shooting that happened in Minneapolis, we want folks to honor the memory of George Floyd and protest peacefully, but to refrain from looting and businesses and destroying property. But obviously, the killing of George Floyd is a seminal moment for us, for all of us as a community, as a state, and as a nation. And now is the time for change. Now is the time for us to make changes to our how we police that is going to result in making sure that what happened in front of all of our eyes doesn't ever happen again. The mayor of Minneapolis yesterday asked a very important question. He said, why is the man who killed George Floyd still not been arrested? If you or I had done it, we would be in jail right now. And so, I think that the mayor of Minneapolis made the right call in calling for the arrest of the officer who put his knee in the back of George Floyd's neck until his body went limp. And when I saw that, I saw it as a public execution of of an unarmed, non-violent man. George Floyd should still be with us today. Right now is the time for justice to be done. Nothing more, nothing less, but justice. It's on all of us as one community, as one people of all backgrounds who share a common humanity, to make sure that this event doesn't divide us as a city, as a state, and as a nation, but rather that we all come together and rally around our common humanity and recognize when injustice is done, and that we all collectively fight to make sure that justice prevails. In the wake of this killing, I've been contacted by the family of the 21-year-old Kobe Demick Hesler of Brooklyn Center, who was also killed at the hands of police here in Brooklyn Center in a police-involved shooting nearly 9 months ago. The BCA, I believe, has completed its investigation. No charging decision has been made. We still don't have any answers. The family is demanding answers. But we, as a city, as where are the answers for their very beloved son? And so I'm calling on the Brooklyn Center Police Department and the chief to release the video from that shooting as well. Minneapolis Park Police has recently, as recently as yesterday, I believe, released video involving this incident, and they did the right thing in making sure that there's transparency and public accountability, and we have that same responsibility to Kobe and to the family. We have to make sure that we're being transparent. We have nothing to hide. There's no indication that our officers did anything wrong at this point. But I think we need to be transparent. At this point, it's not going to affect the investigation. The investigation, my understanding, has already been concluded. The investigation involving Kobe's death has concluded, so the video should be released. All body cam video, all dash cam videos should be released publicly at this time. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want to in relation to what happened. Concerned about more rioting.
Absolutely. We are concerned, and we are preparing as a city to respond to make sure that lives aren't threatened and properties aren't threatened. And I want to again urge calm. I want to make sure that people understand that we need to respond in a way that's going to increase the level of compassion for George Floyd. And that's going to increase the level of compassion so that we can get change. We don't want the story to become about looting and destruction of property. We need to keep the focus on George Floyd, on the killing that occurred, and on the changes that need to take place. So I'm urging folks to practice restraint, to demonstrate peacefully, and in doing so, to help bring about the kind of change that's needed at this moment. And let me be clear, I have communicated clearly with our police department that it is our duty to protect peaceful protest, which is a fundamental right of all Americans. It is our duty to protect peaceful protest. And so we are going to do all that we can to make sure that, my office is going to do, I'm going to do all that I can to make sure that we are protecting folks who are exercising their right to assemble peacefully and to bring their grievances to the government. We're going to do that. The police, in my understanding, responded last night appropriately. There were no injuries to the public, no injuries to folks who were involved, no injuries to the police officers. When officers arrived last night, the vehicles that were gathered in the parking lot here at the Walmart started to disperse, and officers secured the perimeter. I think that they responded appropriately. We have to exercise restraint to make sure that things aren't being escalated as well.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Quick question for you. I missed the first part of that. What was your name and position?
My name is Mike Elliott. I'm the mayor of Brooklyn Center.
Mayor. Okay, thank you, sir. You a shaker, fist, elbow? Okay. Thank you so much.
What about you? What's your name?
I'm Jason. I'm with Minnesota News Now.
Okay.
So it's YouTube. We're live, like I said. So I appreciate you allowing it to go with them too. Alright guys, so there you go. That was the mayor of Brooklyn Center. I'm really glad I stumbled upon this interview with everything. So I really appreciate it. It worked out really well, but yes, things were taken from Foot Locker.
I'll send you a text. Thank you.
But you can kind of see how the leaders and media, even though they're a smaller mainstream media outlet, they you can really see how they just really kind of shun us as independent journalists. I mean, I didn't see any, well, there was a few that were in the heart of it, but man, we're all just as important. Alright guys, let me pause this. Alright guys, sorry about that. Tony called. Guys, I'm going to mute this for a second. Sorry guys, I just took a phone call from Minnesota Guardian. I tried to call him a few times and he didn't answer. Apparently Amagansett Press is up here, so he was meeting with Minnesota Guardian, and yeah, they were busy talking. So Amagansett Press is around. He's not, I guess he's not here to film. He's here to get visit with some family. So yeah, here's T-Mobile. They definitely broke in, broke out the window. And then we got Foot Locker out here. Foot Locker was broken into as well. So that happened last night in Brooklyn Center. So we got Brooklyn Center Fire out here. So again, I seen a report on the news that was really, I believe it was Channel 9, and they were talking about how fire department could not get in because of the protesters. That's absolutely not true. When I was filming, and I don't know how much on the live stream you guys could see, I'm sorry about just the quality, you know, the protesters are definitely getting out of the way for fire trucks, ambulances. You know, the way I see most of these protests going, in fact, it was really calm and peaceful, and everyone was really calm and okay with fire and EMS there. And then when the cops showed up, you know, everyone was keeping their distance from fire. You know, we were able to get, you know, close but stay out of the way with filming. And cops showed up and they started pelting everyone with rubber bullets, tear gas, flashbangs, concussion grenades. It was absolutely insane. So, this is the mayor. Talking with police. I wasn't able to get some of the 360 footage loaded. I tried. I'm gonna meet up with Minnesota Guardian. I'm gonna get him to help me with going live, and I should be able to go live with the 360, I believe. And as soon as as soon as we get all that, I'll hopefully be able to shoot live on the 360, which should be pretty awesome for everyone. So it's the mayor talking to the police. Alright guys, I'm gonna jump off here off the live stream. I'm gonna try and keep going live. I get really good signal out here, mainly because there's like literally not a whole lot of people out here. So I will we're gonna head to where the stuff is. We're geared up. I'm going to check in with a couple other YouTubers to see what they're going to do, if they're going to be down there with us or where they're going to be. So stay tuned. I'll update you guys with the information and let you know who else is broadcasting, so you can jump around on all our channels to get different viewpoints, because hopefully we'll split up. Alright guys, stay safe. I'm going to do the same. And watch for me go live again. Minnesota News Now out.